Yeah, a minute. Get awfully quiet.
It does.
It gets so quiet.
Deadly quiet. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's so quiet. Pin drop.
It's not.
Okay, it is 7 o'clock. And it is Thursday, March 20th, 2025. We will call this meeting of the Bristol Town Council to order. And the first item on the agenda is a pledge of allegiance. Brett, will you ask Jimmy to lead us in the pledge tonight?
James, will you go ahead, Brett?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jimmy. All right, let's do roll call. Start to my left. Doug Smith,
Here.
Dean Renfro,
Here.
Kathy Burke,
Here.
Greg Tulsky,
Here.
and Jeff Beachy's here. To my left again, Town Marshal Steve Ring,
Here.
Legal Counsel Alex Bowman,
Here.
Deputy Clerk Treasurer Jill Swartz,
Here.
Town Manager Mike Yoder,
Very present.
and Fire Chief Nick Cantz. Good evening. Okay. Everybody had a chance to review the agenda.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No,
I have a correction.
Okay.
We need to scratch out the executive session to approve and replace that with the March 6th regular meeting. We already approved the executive session.
Okay. So March 6th. See, I thought we did, when I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other additions or corrections? If not, the agenda will stand as corrected. Next item on the agenda, approval of the invoices. Everybody had a chance to look at the bills?
Yes.
Any questions? Other than what we talked about earlier? Yeah, that's been answered earlier. Is there a motion to approve the invoices?
I'll make a motion to approve the invoices.
I'll second. Oops.
Okay,
Go ahead.
motion by Doug, second by Dean. Up for discussion? No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes.
Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the March 6th, 2025 meeting. A chance to review those?
Yes.
Yes, I'll make a motion. We approve the March 6th regular meeting minutes.
Okay, motion by Kathy,
I'll second.
second by Greg, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes.
Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes, motion carries. Okay, jump right into reports. Mike, you're first up.
Okay, first up is we have Heidi from Baker Tilly here. I assume you can hear us?
I can you hear me?
Amazingly so. It's just technology wizardry over here as town manager share.
So humble too.
So, did you want to share your screen?
Yeah.
You did?
Sitting over the
Well, I was gonna do it on my own, but anyways, there you go.
Can you guys see the slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you all for having me here this evening. Heidi Ansel, Baker Tilly. I know it's been too long since I was in front of you in the past. So tonight I am here to discuss the first reporting requirement of 2025. This is a redevelopment commission report that has to be presented to the council. And since you guys are the same, you get to hear it twice. But this report reports on prior year activities, so all activities in 2024. So Basically, you just have to hear this information, there's no approvals or anything, and you just have to note in the minutes that you received this report and go forward from there. So I will get started here. This is just a reminder of all of the reporting requirements the redevelopment commission are responsible for, really starting with this April 15th TIF management report, followed by pass-through letters that you'll see around June 15th, on or before June 15th. Around August is TIF neutralization. And then the spending plan is due on or before December 1st. And then you have to have your annual meeting, which we typically have in June or July, where we talk about these 3 items that are listed in the very last bullet point. So those are the 5 reporting requirements. So this is going to kick it off for the year. This is just a, is anyone from the overlapping taxing units in the audience?
No.
I don't
No?
think so.
Okay, curious. So this is really for educational purposes, and really is to visually show how TIF works. So as you guys are all familiar with, you've been on the RDC for some time. The base assessed value here in the gray is what gets established when you create a TIF area. And then any increases from that base when you set the TIF area up is the incremental assessed value. That is what the TIF revenue is generated off of. So you take that 80 times the tax rate divided by 100, that gets you the TIF revenue. Those revenues again can be used in serving or benefiting the TIF area. And then once the TIF is in, all of that assessed value goes into the tax base of the overlapping taxing unit. And we'll go through the expiration dates tonight. This is just a reminder of why TIF is in place. Oftentimes when the council and the RDC is not the same members, there can be some disconnect. And so it's always just a good reminder that TIFs are very beneficial to for 49 of the 50 states actually. And it is used to finance incentives or infrastructure that is needed to induce private development, to get companies locate there or even stay there. It also requires that there's an economic development plan anytime you create a TIF area, which does encourage orderly growth. And that's your guiding legal document. And then also it's used often to redevelop blighted area. So the first section of the reporting requirement is on who was on the redevelopment commission in 2024. So all of the members are listed out here and their titles. If it has changed for 2025, just remember this is last year's activities. So who was in place as of 12/31. You didn't have any members removed during under 2024, and the redevelopment commission has no employees. Those are also 2 items that are required on this report. Also on this report is a listing of all of the TIF areas that you have in place. And what you can see here, you can see the TIF codes or the T codes that we often refer to. That's really more of an administrative code for the auditor's office. We put in the nickname, when the TIF area was established, and then also when it is going to expire. You can see here that you have some TIF areas that are not ready to expire yet because no long-term bonds have been issued to date. As soon as you would issue long-term bonds or obligations, then the TIF area starts. So you can see really 2033 is when the first one will end. In addition to that is a listing of finances. So this top section here is total revenues and total expenditures by TIF area. And so you can see what those numbers are for each one of the TIF areas. And then these total expenditures have to be broken down into more detail, which is in this middle section of the reporting requirement. And it has to detail out every single expenditure of the RDC by the State Board of Accounts categories. And so you can see here the subcategories that all of those expenditures fell within for all of the TIF areas combined. As you may remember, this is a transparency report, and so this information is provided through through and to the DLGF via the Gateway portal, and it's uploaded there. You did not have any grants or loans in 24, and then there was no TIF distributed to, any other taxing unit. Again, 2 pieces of information that are required on this report. Any questions here? The next section of the reporting requirement is fund balances as of 12/31/24. So you can see all of the different allocation areas listed out here. In addition to the allocation areas, so the TIF, the allocation funds rather, you also have to list out any bond funds. So basically any fund that has any TIF going in and out of it, this reporting requirement has to include. So you can see, the bond here, bond funds listed here, the redevelopment give back fund here. And really all of the funds related to the redevelopment commission and TIF and what their balances are. Another section of this reporting requirement is, a listing of all the, debt instruments and which TIF area they are related to, as well as how much principal and interest is outstanding. How much principal and interest was paid in 2024, which here, and then the maturity date of their bond. And we like to add some notes here, when there are some things to talk about, just as far as like the general revenue bond. They are payable legally from available revenues of the town, but it is anticipated that South State Road 15 TIF will be used to pay for it. So we just like to include some of the nuancing notes down here, for your information. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. There is also a section in regard to housing TIF allocation areas. You do not have any allocation or housing TIF allocations today. But if you do in the future decide to have a residential housing TIF, the number of houses each year that are completed and average sales price will have to be reported. And then there's an additional notes section of the report, and this is where you just put any kind of unique notes that are things that we will all, as the redevelopment commission council and the town would like to track from year to year. So you can see that we just had made a note here about the interlocal agreement that you have. And then also, about the $400,000 payback, on this particular loan and the agreement with the county. The other piece of information that's not included in this presentation is a parcel list for each TIF area. That also has to be uploaded into Gateway. But I didn't think you necessarily want to be able to stick all of the parcels in your TIF area, but that is available if you'd like to have it. So with that wraps up my presentation. Here's the contact information for our team that assists Bristol. Yeah. Any questions?
No, I don't think so. Thank you for the overview. Very, very thorough.
Great.
All right, I guess we're done, Heidi. Go get some supper
Okay.
or dinner or
Is there
whatever you
anything else on the
do.
agenda that I would be needed for?
No, everything else is pretty simple.
Okay.
Even the town manager
Great.
can
Thank
handle it.
you for having me.
Maybe.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Heidi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. So,
With that. Right. So next. Ponderosa Improvement Project. Let's not go there. Let's go further. Well, we have a quote for what I'm going to show you. That's right at 50,000. But I have another plan tonight. So if can you zoom in a little bit? Here's what we'd like to do on Ponderosa in preparation for busy time somewhat this year and next. So the top black marks are just south of the railroad tracks. If you've been out there, the road just kind of abruptly stops. So we want to angle that so it's more of a gradual decrease. And on to Ponderosa. Then south of Casco Drive, we've got an area that needs to be mill and filled. On the east side, the west side, there's a low area in there that needs to be filled up. I think there's some issues right at Casco turning south. I think on that curve, there might be some areas we need to work on. Further south, what we'd like to do at this intersection, if you notice the marks, the trucks will turn in and swoop over. We'd like to create more of a gradual, expand that shoulder, if you will, with pavement. So when the trucks turn, they have more of a gradual track back onto the straight and narrow.
Widen it to the east.
Yes, yeah, right where that black line is at, essentially. And then we plan to do some marking. We'll be restriping that road as well. Do some striping that indicates that this is a curve and how to follow the curve. So maybe those truckers are better, Dean, than the town manager who can't stay between the lines of the parking lot, but so that's the project we're looking at. And so we have one quote from Niblock at 49 some thousand. But I'd like to suggest tonight that you approve an expenditure of up to $50,000 for that improvement project. Because we may have a way to cut some costs out of that Eric and I want to take a look at. Now, Dean asked Mike, he says, where are you going to get the money to pay for this? Because we're running out of money. And so there's a couple things, and it's the spreadsheet in front of you. And it occurs to me that you might prefer to see this on the big screen. So if it will open up, here it goes. If you want to shift back to me again. This is my, no, I don't want to learn that. So much for my technology wizard. This is my project spreadsheet, and what you see across the top is all the funds that I have available to utilize for projects. So it's across the top is all the funds. Going clear over here to the ARC monies, which we'll talk about a little bit later as additional appropriations. And down on this side of your spreadsheet, at the top part, any operational costs that come out of any of these funds, I note those here. So at the bottom of the page, I want to know how much money I've got available for each project. Then below that, we have all of our projects. Here's community crossing projects we have underway. It shows the match from the state and how much money we have to come up locally. So let's go. So anyways, there's projects on here that we don't have funded yet. They're just there. And when our ship comes in, maybe we'll do one of them. So the key thing is down here at the bottom. There's some yellow spots that have negative numbers in there. 6 months ago when we did the budget, this was beautifully balanced. Beautifully balanced. So all the numbers from here is what feeds into our budget for initial appropriations and budgeting for projects. Since then, things have changed. So later on, you'll see a request to advertise additional appropriations going to take care of all of these uses. For this project, I'm putting it in under LRS, the 50,000, our local road and street fund, and you'll see at the bottom that we're still maintaining the end of year balance here. We're still maintaining those balances all the way across the board. These are okay balances, but we are spending more this year than we will be receiving in revenue in many of these funds. But occasionally you do that. But at this moment, we are fine. I want to tell you now, though, if we go up here to the Elkhart St. Joe water main replacement, I've got 180,000 in there. I learned today that might be closer to $900,000. I don't believe that number. I know I don't believe that number. That was an engineering estimate. We will have plans available for Niblock to look at Because what we'd like to do is to do a change order on our water project and incorporate that under our SRF funding. So there's, at the moment, there's capacity in our SRF funding to do that. That just has to be closer to 400,000 than 900,000. I can't imagine. Indiana Avenue is what, 200,000 or something? To put a water main in down through there and have lots more laterals. So I'm not sure where the engineering estimate came from, but that was a shocker today.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know where that engineering estimate came from.
They said from other similar projects, but,
Was that JPR?
yeah. Yeah, I put that
Yeah, I
together.
feel
So I just
How
can't
much was
imagine.
it to
Crazy.
move the water main out here?
I don't know offhand. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy high.
It just seems like it's-
Think?
I was driving when he told me the number. I was coming back from Goshen. I almost drove off the road, but what?
Maybe you just
Uh,
misheard it.
So on the SRF fund, on the water project, we have $1.2 million surplus above that we set aside in case there's unexpected expenditures. So they've been reviewing what those might be. There's really a low chance that we'll have any, but what I think we're going to want to do is pay for this out of those SRF funds. And then if we have a little unexpected expenditure, we can pull that out of edit or something. Something to be more reasonable. So we'll be fine. We really don't have much. But we can leave. Is it Indiana that has the 6-inch there now? It's an asphalt concrete pipe or whatever. But as soon as we do a full depth rebuild on that street, the vibration stuff, it'll create a leak. So we need to replace all of that.
Yeah.
And Ken Jones is 100% sure SRF will go for this because they like these projects. We're matching community crossing grant monies with their projects. So I think we'll be fine.
Because both of them are transite, both Indiana or
Transite, yeah.
St. Joe and Elkhart, both are transite.
So I wanted to tell you that that's the only thing that's got me a little worried with this whole budget. But worst case scenario, I mean, this would really be worst case scenario. We have monies across all the TIFs that we could pull that together out of all those if we had to, but I don't think. Okay, so the request on this item is to fund Ponderosa improvements with some LRS dollars, not to exceed 50,000.
Okay.
I just want to say, for $50,000, to make sure that that roadway doesn't get torn up, which will cost us a great deal more if that edging is not taken care of. I think it's a good idea myself.
What's the process? Do we have to bid this?
It's small enough number.
Yeah,
it's
under
only
50, under 50, no.
Okay.
No.
I was thinking it was like 25,000.
I thought it was 75,000.
No, 50 to 150, it introduces a bidding process.
Okay.
A quote process.
Okay,
North of 150, you've got the closed bid.
okay. Gotcha. Okay,
I make a motion that we go ahead with the Ponderosa, what is that? Ponderosa Improvement Project, not to exceed $50,000.
I'll second that motion.
okay. Motion by Kathy, second by Doug. Open for discussion. I guess the only question I would have, Mike, is if we look at this picture, do we want to, is this curve?
Is there a better picture right below? Oh, we can't do anything there because of utility pole.
Okay,
Sitting right there.
okay.
Well, you see the new pads they've got down there,
Yeah.
they look like they're gonna add more poles.
Yes, there'll be new poles along Ponderosa.
See, they got the pads out.
We're supposed to have that done before we do any other work in town, so, oh yeah, I have a little larger picture there, maybe.
Okay.
explaining what we're doing.
Yeah, 'cause that just comes down there from the railroad down the south, it just squares right off, it didn't taper in or nothing.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, that shows a little bit better. You can
Yeah.
see the black marks or what trucks are doing now, and
Yeah.
this will create a better curve for that.
okay. Any further discussion?
No.
Not, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes,
Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Derek Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is yes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Next, couple of pay apps, number 23 and 24. This is wastewater treatment plant. So the first pay app is payment to Commonwealth Engineering for $39,188.16.
Okay,
I make a motion, we pay application to number 23 to Commonwealth Engineering, 39,188.16.
I'll second that.
motion by Kathy, second by Dean, for discussion. No further discussion, take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes,
Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Derek Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is yes, motion carries.
Next is pay app number, the next one, 24. And that total amount is $843,368.62. That's to Crosby Construction. $801,200.19 is directly to Crosby, and the balance is in a retainage fund.
A motion to approve pay app number 24 to Crosby Construction.
I'll make a motion for pay app 24 to Crosby Construction.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion by Dean, second by Doug, open for discussion.
yeah, what fund does this come out of?
State revolving fund.
State revolving,
No,
okay,
that's our bond.
okay.
Any further discussion? No, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes,
Kathy Burke,
Yes,
Derek Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is yes, motion carries.
So just comment on this project, we're 24% done now. We met today with the contractor and the engineers. An interesting question was raised during this meeting by the contractor. He wanted to know if we could find some storage or if there was storage area because of tariffs. And we apparently are sourcing some of our material from Canada, probably some of our pump material, but if some of our electronics may be coming from Mexico. So they want to take delivery on things as quickly as possible, even on products we wouldn't need for 6 months. So, yeah, we'll help figure that out. But after the meeting, I contacted Amy at our engineering office and I said, in the contract, who pays the tariffs? She didn't know.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah, so I asked AIM that same question. I don't know how much product is being brought in, but my guess is we'll get stuck with those tariffs.
Yeah. Typically it's a pass through for the contractor.
Is it?
on shipping? Is it
Well,
considered, I mean, I know
no.
it's a tariff, but it's separate.
Yeah, it's a,
Yeah, I know with my company, we're passing it through. We're adding it, we're getting price adjustments from our suppliers and it is passed through to our customers. It's typically the way it goes.
so we'll
Yeah.
see. The contractor didn't mention anything about that, but afterwards I thought about it. I'll bet we do get stuck.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see.
would more than likely get stuck with, because it's one of those. I don't know if that falls under a force majeure, act of God.
Yeah, I mean, it sure
It
could.
acts like God.
Difficult to describe tariffs as an act of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could. You get in a scenario where it's difficult to reapportion those costs, regardless of how it's set forth in the agreement. You'll have either your supplier is gonna throw a fit or the end user will throw a fit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the option.
If I was a contractor, I locked in the prices, the shipping, everything. This was way beyond my control.
Right.
So I pass it through.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, moving on to project updates.
Hmm.
And there's a picture. That is a camera that's on our groundwater tank. This is out at the new well field. They are working on the foundation for the new water tower.
Okay.
And so that camera will be up all the time. It takes a picture every so many hours. At the end of the project, JPR will put together a video of thing being constructed. So that'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
If I can get you guys a link to that, I'll do that. So you
Yeah,
can check
yeah,
it
Very
anytime.
cool.
There are some pictures out at the wastewater treatment plant. These are constructing the walls for the SBR units, the tanks.
Did they pour that concrete today?
Yeah, I think they did pour
I
some
was gonna
today.
say, I seen truck after truck go by my house,
Yeah, they were.
and there was
pouring
no
some more.
locals. I'd
What's
never
that?
heard of the concrete company before.
Falcon?
Falcon, is that who it was?
What,
Yellow or orangish,
Orange. Yeah, orangish tan color. Yeah, I saw one coming out of Bay Ridge. They must have been, working on the hotel.
No, that's done. There's another house going.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe that's where it was, but it was, I thought maybe they poured out the plant.
Yeah, I'd never seen it. I saw the name was Falcon.
Yeah, I'd never seen
Got a
it.
574 number on it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, do I have any other pictures? Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
one more.
Well, they've definitely ramped up the crew down there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Cars all the way over to Shore Manor Drive.
Okay, the next project, like your thoughts on. So this is the connection between Earthway and Bloomingdale. This is what you folks considered years ago. So there's the drawing, and actually we can begin. We'll need to double check with engineering, but that has the acreage on there, and I've estimated that's right about 5 acres of right of way. And so if you look on, you're back on your spreadsheet, I have included under business right of way purchases, I have $290,000 in there for this acquisition, this right of way. But Ken Jones said at the time, one of the owners was willing to donate this property because of the added value.
Right.
But here's the dilemma. We could maybe do this. I still have the 424,000 in there to purchase the Ohio properties. That's the
Two
Ponderosa
driveway lots.
relocation. So do we go ahead and get both of those, or do we say we're gonna pull back and focus on this and assume that nothing much is going to happen with that storage yard for the next couple of years while we build our funds back up? I think we want to relocate Ponderosa Air for going south.
Say that
Or do we
again.
try to do both?
Say that again.
Well, so we're really crimping down on our dollars, so do we want to just pull back from purchasing the right of way to relocate Ponderosa? Take those dollars and focus on this connection. But we wanna try and do both.
So you're saying relocate Ponderosa in to the angle to the west, angle to the east?
Yeah. I mean, eventually, do we wanna do that?
So
I don't know what's gonna happen to Abby's property and how soon that'll develop. Probably at some point, we'll come up through Bontrager's and use that other route eventually.
So this is this picture right here, this drawing right here is continuing Bloomingdale west, correct?
Correct.
Mhm.
If we do that, why would we need to,
That's the question.
do anything on Abby's.
yeah, do anything on
Yeah.
Abby's?
That's the question.
And go through Bontrager?
That's why we came
We
up with that
could,
plan
yeah,
years ago.
Because if we
So-
do that, there's no, I was thinking of that as the meeting was getting ready to start. If we do this, then there's really no reason.
we could even say, Abby, you've got to go further east and come up and connect to Bloomingdale on the other side of the substation.
Power plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this is slick.
I need
Like I
to-
said, years ago, that was what they wanted to do.
It took us, yeah, it took us a while to come up with this, but we all liked it, and it just kind of.
And we
went
could
away.
improve the current Ponderosa Bloomingdale intersection then at some point.
Yes,
Yeah.
Get NIPSCO to move that utility pole and maybe we might buy a little right of way along Ohio properties. Just a widen, it'd be nice to have a wider Ponderosa with wider.
Yeah,
I was gonna suggest that when we just talked about the improvements we're gonna do now. It'd be nice to have that at, what do they call it, Super Two,
Yeah,
where you have a center turn lane.
mhm.
mhm.
Once you come across the tracks, then you've got a Super Two all the way down to 15.
it would be nice. You should have
Yeah.
done that last year.
Yeah,
So I would say if we're gonna do this,
Mhm.
I wouldn't necessarily see the need to go through
No.
buying the Ohio properties
no, I don't.
and
know.
Bontrager's property.
Just drop that project.
Yeah, just drop that.
Yeah.
If we can do this.
Mhm.
Now, I was thinking though that if we look, what is it, latitude or latitude?
Yeah.
I was thinking Earthway was further north than
No, that's.
Bloomingdale.
Mm,
No,
No,
Okay,
that's south. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think that's,
That's the reason for the traffic calming curve.
yeah,
Thank you.
And Ken and I talked, and maybe we've said something before, but that almost immediately pulls a stop. Like
Mhm.
that.
oh, yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, and if I recall, when we came up with this buku years ago, that was the idea for it to be simple. And, you know, be able to handle trucks in and out of there. That's why we came up with that. And then I don't even remember why it was put aside. So I guess it was the bypass whole thing that took over.
Dean has some memories of it, but
Back when Kathy, when Bill was town manager,
Oh, yeah, okay,
He-
now I got
he
it.
drug his foot and the other guy come in and bought Blue Spruce.
Yeah,
That's what,
now I got
that's what
it.
shifted it.
Figured it had to come from
Yeah.
somewhere.
well, if that's your decision, that solves the budget issue, because I'll be moving 400, I've got. Well, actually, we'll free up some monies for some other projects then, because we have 424,000 for Ohio properties. This one we should be able to get for under 3. I hope, we'll see.
I personally,
Okay.
you know, I've liked it from the time we designed
Yeah,
it years
I think-
ago.
I thought it was a great idea back when they came up with it. I'm like, gosh,
Yeah, which was back in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know it's an old drawing when you see this.
Yeah.
Whiteman.
Whiteman Petrie, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it should save us some engineering costs up front now. We don't have to pay for that.
There you go. Yeah. No, personally, I like this a whole lot better than having to,
Oh, yeah.
because I didn't want to displace my Bontrager's.
A lot of expense
Facility.
going that way.
There's a lot of expense going
Lot of
that way, and
expense.
Mike's got a good property. I think he likes where he is.
Mhm.
This is, I think this is a cost savings for the town. And it
Makes more sense.
makes more sense, because it also doesn't mess with the properties to the south of Earthway from a development standpoint.
Well, and for the fire department, come out of the fire station, down Ponderosa, up Bloomingdale and right over to Earthway and all those places he's gotta get to instead of have to go clear south and come back north.
That lessens the blow of closing Maple Street for you guys.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to work on it.
Okay,
All right.
Okay, last thing, some updates from Tuesday night's meeting. On our development standards, we wondered about variances to them. They will have to go to the county BZA. However, we would submit our opinion, and chances of the BZA going against the town's wishes on the town standards pretty low. But it would be the county. Now, water and sewer rates. Jill and I met with Major Tilly this afternoon. and gain some clarity. First of all, we need to rewrite some of our ordinance so it's more clear. We've been charging the connection fee, which is what, system development charge for fire connections, the 8-inch, that's the one that's driving up all the costs on the commercial side, and we're not
Right.
generally supposed to do that, but it's written in a way that would indicate would, sort of. So we're gonna change that language to clear that up. I think if we pull that fee out, our commercial side is pretty close to neighboring folks, we'll be okay. On the residential side, we can do pretty much what we want. I think I would suggest that there's an $800 fee that's for the 5/8 fitting. We just use $800 or a similar number for 5/8, 3/4, 1-inch.
Yeah.
Maybe we stop there, maybe 1.5. Then above that, I think we're okay. That's more commercial. I think that's okay. So for residential, that'll shave a few $1,000s off. So now my question is, well, there's one other thing. May 1st is the rate increase. May 1st, you've got a baked in rate increase for everybody. Yeah. So Baker Tilly is close to having an analysis done of the last year. So they'll be able to tell us, do we need to do that right now or not? I don't know if they'll have that done in time for our April meeting. So where I'm getting to you, Alex, is how quickly can we act on that ordinance to make the changes? One thing we might do on the rate increase is just as a council say, we're gonna back that off for 30 days until June 1. Gives us time to think more about, do we need it or not?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah,
I think we should.
yeah, definitely.
We need to look further into it.
Yeah.
We need to do everything in our power to eliminate that
Yes.
rate increase.
Yep.
So if the council makes a change on the development charge fees,
Mhm.
I've got 2 projects, guys are waiting to know what they're going to have to pay.
Okay.
I don't think we need to have, I mean, they can wait a couple weeks, 3 weeks maybe, but 2 weeks for sure. Can council just say, this is what we're going to do, and then the paperwork follows up?
Well,
Catches up.
the tough part with the sewer rates, any of the sewer water rates is there's a publication period and then a hearing that has to occur. And I think that's true of both upward and downward, either elimination, upward, downward, any change to it would require that process.
So we can be ready to go with some language on the first meeting in April.
Yeah.
These are,
I'll be
this is
the
language even a town manager might be able to change, but I'll certainly have you review it.
Please.
Okay, yeah, I mean, first meeting in April is the
third.
third.
Do we publicize before or after that meeting?
I believe we'd have to publicize after that, so you'd have the 10-day period between the first meeting and the third Thursday. Which should be sufficient. It's always a tight turnaround, given the publication lead time. But if it's ready to go, I think that would be okay.
So we'll make the wording changes. We need to make it very clear that we're basing the service development fee, everything is based on a meter, not a connection, but a meter. And there's some other language in there. So it's very clear, it's a meter. We'll make some changes on the dollar amount, and I think we'll just push that automatically to June, or you want to go to July and give you plenty of extra time on the rate increase for
Let's
consideration.
push as far as we can.
Yeah.
July would be
Go
fine.
to
with me.
July 1st, that gives us extra days to
Yeah.
work through that, okay.
I think we did that as part of the same ordinance.
Yeah,
Too,
so
is
it's
that
all, yeah, it's all one ordinance, so we'll make all those changes, amend it, and we'll
Was
have
that
it
the
ready.
people's
Is there any-
questions out on County Road 8?
What's that?
Was that the people's questions on County Road 8? The fees?
Not-
Oh, Bravo trailer.
Right.
Oh, yes, I mean, 90,000 is kind of,
Seemed a bit
Kind of
steep.
steep.
yeah.
Is there any way that we can find out what the difference is, how they stated it, the way they stated it, why it's so high, what the am I gonna explain this?
I know why it's.
What the total is compared to what it will be. Do you know what I'm saying? The difference.
Yes,
Okay,
I gave you an example of what the total charges are for
Right.
residential and business. I'll come back, same one with the new fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
thanks.
And,
They give any indication as to whether that sewer development fee is being paid into,
It is not. Oh, well, finish your sentence, paid into,
paid into,
The debt,
Debt
yeah,
relief.
the debt service?
it is not.
Nuh-uh.
It is
Oh, it's
not.
a separate cume fund or
Well,
some other operating
go ahead
fund?
and talk about what he said about that.
So we asked that same question. So he suggested put it in like a sinking fund. And that's something we would like to do as well, is create a fund to just put those connection fees monies into for water and sewer. That way we can monitor how much revenue we're getting from that and to help with capital improvements in the future. But it doesn't have to do with the capital improvements we're doing currently.
Right.
Yep.
Makes a lot.
Yep. So we'll want to do that too.
All right, thank you. That's it.
okay. Thank you, Mike. Anybody have questions for Mike?
No.
Okay, if not. Jill, what do you have for us tonight?
The only item I have tonight is a request to, give notice to the newspapers on additional appropriations. There's several there. If you want me to go over each one, I'm happy to. But it's to help, fund some of those projects Mike was talking about, our water main. We have one on the top, out of our CCD fund to outfit the police vehicle we just received for the K-9 unit, along with the repair work on Ponderosa Street, stormwater improvements on Earthway, and along with the improvement we talked about a few meetings ago, Commerce Drive and State Road 15, and intersection north.
Okay.
Which gives the total down at the bottom.
Okay.
Steve,
Want
you
to
want?
talk about the first one? That was supposed to come out of last year's budget. If you remember, I came to the council like
Yeah.
last meeting in December.
Yeah.
Because I knew we weren't gonna get the vehicle outfitted till after the first year. For a reason, I'll own it, that I thought we encumbered that money so we could pay it out of 24. We just took delivery Monday on that car and found out that wasn't encumbered, so.
Okay.
We have two other ones that are gonna be outfitted, so we'll be short in the fund, so it's kind of, I mean, the money's there now to pay it, but once the two new ones come in, we're gonna be short what the cost was for the last year bill.
So basically, we're asking permission this year to spend the money that we thought we were gonna spend last year.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the notice to taxpayers for an additional appropriation?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Motion by Doug,
I'll second.
second by Greg. Open for discussion. No further discussion. Take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes,
Kathy Burton,
Yes,
Greg Dolsky,
Yes.
and Jeff Beach is yes. Motion carries.
Thanks, council. That's all I have this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Jill. Have any questions for Jill?
Nope.
Okay. We'll move on to Steve. What do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, I'll start with the monthly report. I think you guys got a copy of that.
Yep.
February 2025, we had 30 citations that were written, 38 warnings. We took 224 calls, impounded 2 vehicles. We drove 11,929 miles. We took 26 case reports, 3 warrants, 2,001 possession of marijuana, 1 dog bite, 2 operating while intoxicated misdemeanors, 1 OWI felony, 1 fraud, 1 child molest, 5 driving while license are suspended, 6 crashes and 2 other ones. We worked a total of 54.25 hours of overtime. And just be aware, we still have 2 people in the academy, so that we're not up to staff, full staff yet. Code enforcement, he wrote 2 nuisance issues, 3 sign violations, 9 illegal parking, 2 animal violations, 2 others. 5 of those incidents were citizen generated and 15 of the other ones were code enforcement generated. So that is, we're staying busy.
You said 2 nuisance?
2,
This what I'm looking at says 3. And 4 signs.
yeah, I need my reading glasses. Yes, you were correct.
Okay. I just didn't, okay.
Signs and devices at my favorite topic.
Your favorite topic.
Okay,
We're gonna start just putting them in your front yard so you know how many you get.
okay. Well, I'll just add them to the ones I take too.
They actually would be good for target practice at the range, but
You know what? If they do that, then they can get you on nuisance.
If they can, can't they?
Yeah.
Steve, what's the difference between
Anything.
OWI and an OWI felony?
most of the OWIs, like first offense or whatever, or misdemeanor, and then the felony would be
If they tell you.
if it's like a second or third offense, or mitigating factors, but
5 suspended license.
And how many of those came from Flock?
probably quite a few of them.
Yeah.
The block is really turning out to be other than that, we've had one of them that got hit by a car and then the other one that just fell off the bracket or whatever. I don't know if it was vandalized, whatever, but
Oh,
the way they've got that set up is we have to pay for it first, and then if it's an insurance claim, then we get reimbursed, obviously, but, so. But
you would think if the camera fell off the post, you'd be able to look at the camera and see what happened.
you would think.
Yeah.
No. And the thing is, those are leased,
Yeah.
we don't own them, and in my mind, I thought, well, if something happens and we can't pinpoint what happened, that's their equipment, but that's not
Yeah.
how they have it written, so.
Yeah.
I wish I had invested in a block stock, but
Guess we should have had our attorney look at that contract.
yeah. It's still, it's great technology,
You should have. You would have bothered.
yeah, it's really helped us out quite a bit, and we have access to countywide
Yeah.
cameras plus all over the nation, so it's helped.
Nice, nice. Okay. Any other,
That's about it.
any other questions for Steve?
No.
Okay. If not, thank you for all you do and pray that you guys stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Nick, what do you have for us tonight?
Oh, a little, not too much, 97 calls in February. We are short, back being short, 2 full-time people again. We just lost a guy to Elkhart Fire a couple weeks ago. Down again. Working on getting a new ambulance certified, probably would have been done by now, except the post office at the state of Indiana lost our packet to get a license plate, so I've got to reapply for new titles and stuff, so we'll see what happens. Still working on that now.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Well, on a good note, at least it didn't catch on fire when you picked it up.
That's true. I'll take that.
So line, the big so line.
I'll take that. I'd be happy if it caught fire. Yeah, so that's what we're kind of waiting on for that. And then I did add some quick rules about open burning down here to this report. And you can feel free to read it yourself, for those of you that are online and watch later. These are not all the rules. These are just some of the stuff that we've been seeing here recently. The burning in mobile homes and apartment complexes, you cannot do that. It does not matter what, in anything, nothing, you can't do it. It's too dangerous. I know we've had some rain the last couple of days and some yucky snow today, but all that dry stuff that's on top is just dead, and it is dead, dry crap that, light and go. They were on a 3-hour fire yesterday, that, just people just burning stuff and they shouldn't be. So just caution for that. Other than that, we just ran our normal calls and just keep doing our thing, so.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. Thank you. Anybody have questions for Chief?
No.
If not, thank you for what you and all your staff do, and we pray that you guys stay safe as well.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Miss Linda, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, we started our meeting off in March with the election of officers, and Michael Roth is now president and Scott Dreamer is vice president. And the meeting before, we decided to retain Rosemary as the secretary, so those are what our officers are this year. We had a couple visitors. Carol Reeves, the director from the public library, and her helper Sienna came to give us a presentation on the Bristol Summer Fest that they're having June 14th this year. The fest will be held both in Cummins and in Condon Park. Cummins will concentrate on children, and Condon Park will be for both children and adults. There will be activities like food trucks, children's games, live music, craft vendors, artisan vendors, a possible pickleball tournament, and pig races. That'll be kind of fun to see, the pig races.
In town?
Not you guys, right, Steve?
Down in Cummins Park, when kids are gonna.
We don't allow
do
rabbits for
that.
the homecoming.
At
least I kept it in my head, see?
They have to there,
You know me, no filter.
so.
That's the only
Anyway,
thing we say,
come
limit.
see that. I think there'll be a lot of fun. The girls are gonna keep coming to our meetings to keep us informed on, new things that might be added to this, because it's kind of a work in process. And I'm really kind of proud of our library for using our parks, and, I think it'll be a good event for us. Anyway, we're still discussing Hunrats Park Pavilion, the cleaning of the floor, and I'd like to thank the fire department, let us borrow their floor cleaning machine. And it cleaned the floor, but we still have some ground in areas that are dark. And so the guys are working on what they can do to get that out of there. And possible ways to stop it from happening. So we're still discussing all that's going on as far as the floor is concerned. And Jill shared with us that we have a cardio drumming group that comes to our park pavilion and has used that now for a couple of years, I think. And they expressed to her that they would be maybe willing to do some cleaning for us free of charge. And so she was going to look into that a little bit too, so that's good. And of course, we're waiting on that kayak launch to settle in to see what's really, where it really is and what we can really do to make it a little bit user friendly, so we're waiting for the order on that. And we have a master gardener in town, Marianne Landis Martin. She's living kind of over across from the park over there. And she would like to have more flowers in the park. So we're gonna investigate on what we can do to get more flowers in the park, and I'm sure she'll be willing to help us on that. Any questions?
Linda, on the Summerfest, are you guys still gonna have meetings up to when the event takes place? If you do, can you let us know when they are? I wouldn't mind sending somebody so we have an idea if there's gonna be any kind of. police department
Yeah,
meetings or-
we're gonna be talking about it right up through June,
Okay.
through our June 1st meeting, first probably week in June.
So we might have some additional people in town, if we can help with that, just let it. Will help.
Hey, maybe you have questions for Linda? Other questions?
No.
Okay, if not, thank you, Linda. Alex, what do you have for us tonight?
Hey, Jeff, council, this evening, I have before you on second reading, ordinance number 3-20-2025-6, which is an ordinance of the town council of the town of Bristol, Indiana, amending chapter 53 of the town code of ordinances regarding stormwater management and regulations. As the council will recall, this ordinance was introduced at the first meeting in March. Mike, again, has the better background with conversations with IDEM and the other folks that have instigated the necessity for the revisions to the town's existing stormwater ordinance. This is essentially, the way to describe this is, there have been some changes, some changes in law, particularly the guiding permits that are issued by IDEM that regulate stormwater in the county. There's an effort to make stormwater regulation more of a countywide, and I think eventually more of a regional effort than a town by town, municipality by municipality. And so this introduces those changes to the town's existing ordinance.
Okay.
I don't believe there are any changes that need to be made to it. We have it marked on the agenda that there's an opportunity for a public hearing. My reading of the statute, we don't need to have, there isn't a necessity that there be a public hearing in order to adopt this. The revisions that are contemplated to this ordinance don't introduce any new fees, penalties, et cetera, that weren't already a part of the code. A lot of this is cleaning up and most importantly, changing the authority upon which the regulations are based. So that's really the change that you have here. So to the extent you'd like to take public comment, certainly, no harm, no foul there. But my recommendation would be for the council to enact this ordinance.
Okay. Well, we're all here, might as well do it. At this time, we'll open up a public hearing to hear any comments regarding the ordinance 3-20-2025-6. An ordinance of the town council of the town of Bristol, amending chapter 53 of the town of Bristol, Indiana Code of Ordinances regarding stormwater management and regulations. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make public comment this evening? Being no public comment, we will close the public meeting. Okay. Next item on the agenda would be to request a motion to approve said ordinance. And I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Well, second.
Okay, motion by Jeff, second by Greg, open for discussion.
How hard is it to fix a clerical error?
Well, if to the extent it's a clerical error,
Look at page 18.
page 18 of the ordinance,
Yes. Well, actually, it's the exhibit.
what,
It's 5336. User fees. This is, I'm sorry, but I'm picky when it comes to how things look. Keep going.
all right, and tell me which you're looking at. I think I know what you're looking at.
Well, go back up. Right there. I'm sorry, this slows down there.
Oh.
What is it?
That's fair. That's fair. In the.
I'm sorry, it's just, I mean, that's what I did for a living,
You
so.
are correct. You are correct. In the codification, it will not appear on 2 pages.
Okay, it's just, you look at this and if you pull up this page, there's no heading.
That's fair. That's fair.
There's no heading on that page either.
No, because that's a continuation of sentence into the next page. I'm sorry, there's all sorts of editing rules.
These are mistakes that Kathy is not going to have to see going forward. That is not a mistake we'll make again.
Thank you.
Apologies to the council.
Okay.
Kind of like East and West Vistula, right?
That's right.
You remember that one
Oh,
I
yeah.
found?
Any further discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. Doug Smith,
Yes.
Dean Renfro,
Yes.
Kathy Burke,
Yes.
Greg Dolsky.
Yes.
And Jeff Beach, yes. Motion carries.
Thank you, council. It's all I have for this evening.
All right. Anybody have anything for Alex? All right. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda, privilege of the floor. Otherwise known as public comment. Is there anybody that would like to make public comment? Please step up to the microphone.
Hi, Boyd.
Boyd Lynch, 202 Chestnut Street. Indiana got a new road, new sidewalk. But the lights for the school disappeared.
What?
There's the lights we had up for the school dome.
Yeah.
Speed limit,
What?
radar signs.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're working with the street department to get those up.
I'd like to see you put them back up with maybe the zones, the, solar things on the top, but the battery pack didn't work out too good.
Yeah. We have 2 signs that have solar. The battery packs, I don't like those because we have to change them. It's kind of a safety issue. They'll park alongside the road at dead of night, mess around changing batteries out. It's
I had
just,
to
no.
call basically every other day to get the batteries changed.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, it's doable, but it's kind of a burden and it's not ideal. But we do have 2 new ones that are solar powered that are in our garage waiting to be installed.
I'd like to see you put them back up and then we worked hard to get them.
Yeah, we did.
Kind of what we talked about, some of the town meeting or I don't know what you call it, town meeting on Tuesday. We have 2 solar ones, and get the kind of opinion on this. We had 2 speed signs in front of the school for each direction. It's such a short distance between the stop signs. I would personally like to see one up there and then some other
Yeah,
signage
they
joining.
need to be separated a little bit.
And then use one of the other ones at one of our high traffic areas where speeding is a problem, not on an NDOT road, but somewhere local.
Yeah.
It's kind of emotional, put them up there at the time, said he couldn't get anybody else to do it. So.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get them in the right spots and
Okay,
Yeah.
make them work right.
we're working on it.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's all I got.
thanks, Lloyd. Good to see you again.
You guys too.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, if not, move on to the next item. Town council discussion items. Doug, anything tonight?
Nope.
Dean?
Question on the signage, talked about signs earlier. Is a banner the full length of a fence, is that considered a sign?
I don't think so. Are you gonna paint it on the fence?
No,
I know.
Jimbo,
Oh, yeah.
there's a banner, the full length of that sign down there, or that
That's right.
fence.
That chain link, yeah.
You know, we was talking about the other sign that was put up, I thought, well, what about the one that covers the whole fence from one end to the other?
Yeah. I don't remember our ordinance very well.
I would think a sign is a sign, whether it's put up on metal posts or whether it's
On
put
a
up,
fence or whatever, yeah.
you
It
know,
exceeds our maximum size.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Actually, it's pretty, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was curious
Good
when
luck.
you were talking about that. I seen that the other day. I thought, man, that's kind of gaudy looking.
Could have Randy take a look at that.
You know what I'm talking about, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good size.
Mhm. Yeah, I need to talk with Randy. I think he goes back to work on Monday, so.
That's the only thing I had. I just,
Okay.
when we was talking about signage, I seen that and I thought, what's the difference between that and the one we talked about, you know, the other one is,
Yeah.
that was a lot huger.
Okay. Kathy, anything tonight?
no,
Okay. Greg?
Nothing.
I don't think I have anything either, so. Yeah, maybe I do.
no, you don't.
It won't take long. Where are we on the billboard? On Casco?
So. The, council for the property owner, submitted a public record request that we answered on behalf of the town. And that's the last we've heard from them. That was about a month ago now.
Okay.
So that, at least from that aspect, that's where things stand.
What's our next step?
Well, I think as far as that matter is concerned, to the extent that there's any enforcement action for the town to evaluate would probably be better in an executive session to discuss.
Okay.
The other matter to consider, would be the revision to, the sign ordinance
Yeah.
that will be contemplated as part of the development standards.
Okay.
So that will be an ongoing process there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all I had. Next meeting, April 3rd at 7 PM. Town council meeting, and then after that, April 15th. 7 p.m. council work session. We're gonna talk about Montville Road residential development and continue with the development standards date. And then April 17th, town council meeting. And that is it.
The hub has a breakfast thing tomorrow morning. What is that? Saturday. We are talking about that.
Yeah, but you
I
had
was
to make,
ready for the end of the week.
you had to make reservations in advance.
No,
We know somebody.
we know.
Well, I do too. So yeah.
Maybe not everybody's invited. I thought they would.
We all should
All right.
get thrown out because.
I'll delete that from the live stream. Nobody had ever heard.
Yeah, not everybody.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Motion by Gaddy, second by Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.